In the heart of Victoria stands Craigdarroch Castle, a mansion built with coal wealth and haunted by tragedy. Robert Dunsmuir, the tycoon who commissioned it, died before its completion. His widow Joan moved in with their children, but grief lingered in the walls, especially after the untimely death of one of their daughters inside the home. Over time, the castle changed hands, becoming a military hospital, a music conservatory, and eventually, a museum. But no matter its purpose, something inside never left. They say if you're alone in the library, the tall mirror will sometimes reflect things that aren't there. Visitors have reported their reflection, pausing, staring. One man said he looked away briefly and found his reflection already watching him when he turned back, head tilted. But what truly disturbs guests is the presence of a small girl in an old-fashioned white dress, seen most often in the upper halls or near the nursery. Supposedly, she was one of Joan Dunsmuir's daughters, who died young and never left. She likes to play. She might tug on your coat or leave small footprints in the dust behind you. Some say if you hear a music box playing where there is none, don't follow the sound. She doesn't like to be found. She likes to find you. Tucked away in New Westminster, Irving House is one of British Columbia's oldest homes. Built in 1865 by Captain William Irving, known as the King of the Fraser River. A grand example of Victorian architecture, it was once filled with the laughter of family and the scent of tea. But today, it's a museum, and the laughter, they say, has taken on a much darker tone. The house was passed through generations, and many members of the Irving family lived and died within its walls. But not everyone truly left. Shadows cling to the corners, and some say the silence upstairs is too perfect. One man, a skeptic, climbed to the second floor on a quiet afternoon. As he reached the top, he stopped. Not because he wanted to, but because something in his body refused to take another step. That's when he saw her, a woman in a Victorian morning dress, standing at the end of the hallway, motionless, her face covered by a lace veil. He blinked, and she was gone. But that's not the worst part. One visitor, weeks after a casual tour, confessed to waking up in the middle of the night, unable to breathe, not from fear, but because someone was braiding her hair. She was trapped in sleep paralysis, wide awake in her mind, as she felt the fingers, cold and deliberate, pulling tight against her scalp in slow, practiced motions, like a mother preparing her child for something. And when she finally tried to scream, the only sound that came out was a voice that wasn't hers, whispering, "You look just like her." Hatley Castle was built in 1908 by James Dunsmuir, the son of Robert Dunsmuir. Yes, that Dunsmuir. The estate was a lavish symbol of wealth, power, and legacy. But tragedy followed the family. James lost both his sons, one in World War I and another in a boating accident. After James and his wife passed, the property was eventually converted into a naval training school, then a military college, and now houses Royal Roads University. It's said that Laura Dunsmuir, the castle's matriarch, still walks the upper floors, dressed in dark mourning attire, her heels clicking faintly as she searches endlessly for her sons. Cadets once reported bizarre things during their night watches. In the dormitory wing, doors would creak open on their own. One student woke to the sound of heavy breathing at his bedside and opened his eyes to see the face of a drowned soldier, pale, bloated, with seaweed draped across his uniform. He vanished as the lights flickered violently. The Burnaby Village Museum is a charming open-air heritage site, meticulously recreating a 1920s tram stop community. with real vintage buildings relocated from across BC, like a blacksmith shop, a general store, and a fully restored carousel. It offers a glimpse into simpler times. But with so many items brought in from different places, something came with them. Staff over the years have quietly spoken about footsteps echoing after closing, cold spots, and objects moving without cause. The stories were always dismissed as superstition, until the blacksmith quit suddenly in 1999 and never spoke of what he saw. Inside the blacksmith shop, tools sometimes clatter to the floor, but the real fear lies in the mirror nailed to the far wall. Legend says the mirror was taken from a cabin where a man vanished during a storm, his body never found. In the reflection, some have claimed to see a silhouette standing behind them, even when alone. But it's the carousel that truly disturbs. Its beautifully restored wooden horses gleam with joyful colors. In the mirror at the center of the carousel, visitors have captured glimpses of a young girl in 1920s clothing, but only in photos, never in person. Those who ride the carousel alone claim to hear a girl's voice whispering right in their ear, "Stay until it's dark, that's when I play the most." Opened in 1941, the Vogue Theatre has stood for decades as one of Vancouver's most iconic performance spaces. Built in full Art Deco glory, it welcomed golden-era films, orchestras, and theatrical productions. But beneath the glittering marquee, its foundation is built on obsession, heartbreak, and unfinished ambition. A lesser-known rumor surrounds a failed actress, Evelyn Price, who took her life after being rejected from a production here in 1947. At night, ushers have claimed to see a figure sitting there on row E, seat 12, watching rehearsals with an unnatural stillness. If you try to look directly at her, the shadows shift subtly, like she moves just outside your vision. A few staff who've stayed after hours reported seeing a woman's face in the reflection of the stage lights, though no one was there. But the most terrifying encounters come from behind the stage curtain. Stagehands swear it moves like something alive. One claimed he heard a full conversation happening behind it, but only one voice answered over and over, "You promised me the lead," until it twisted into maniacal laughter.